Welcome back, everybody. It has been 90 days since my last confession.
Oh, all right, we're gonna
It,
go there.
uh,
Okay. Well, that's
we,
that's actually my favorite joke, and it's not even a dirty joke. I can tell
oh, I
that
didn't
you're a
know that.
fan.
Well, welcome back, everybody. It's Mindful CEO. If you are a first-time listener, welcome. We are going to knock your socks off with our
A
transparency.
confession, transparency, our vulnerability. Yeah,
Yes.
there's an old guy, and he goes to confession, and he says, uh, "Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. I've been married for 50 years and never been unfaithful to my wife. I'm 75 years old, and last night I made mad, passionate love to two 19-year-old twins." And the priest says, "Really? When was the last time you were at confession?" And the guy says, "Never. I'm Jewish." And the priest says, "Well, what are you telling me for?" And the guy says, "Are you kidding? I'm telling everybody."
Oh my, are you kidding?
That's my confession joke. Yes. Are
Oh
you
my
kidding?
God.
I'm telling everybody. That's
Oh my God.
really is a good joke. It's a very, very good Jewish joke. It's a very Jewish way of looking at things.
Oh my
Um,
God.
I'm telling everybody. All right. So
I'm
we
telling every.
we were talking about because we have confession. I have confessions to make. So the it's not really confession, but the thing we're grappling, the idea that Chris and I are grappling with today is we both have a desire
Yeah.
to lose some weight, get into better shape. I mean, for me, it's literally physically a different shape of my body.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
I work out, I'm physically, I can do all the things I want to do. I mean, I wish I could, get up off the floor without using my hands kind of thing, but, or do a couple of true pull-ups, but it's not really getting into shape. Like I'm out of shape. I do CrossFit 3 days a week and I'm
Yeah.
fine. But getting into a shape, right? Like
Mm.
losing the baby fat, and my kid
Mm.
is 23. So it's like that. I have 25 extra pounds, somewhere between 20 and 25 extra pounds that I've had for years, and I've just been, I talk like this about it. And Chris is the same, I don't know, Chris,
Yeah.
how would you language that?
Yeah, I have a desire to. I've had a desire for a long time about being fit. There was a stretch of 7 years where I worked out 3 days a week and had a home gym. And I don't know, somewhere along the way, I just kind of hit a ceiling. Like I'm not getting the results I want. Um, I was doing it for a result, and I just kind of was like, I'm kind of tired of that. But now, it's probably 5 years later, after stopping working out, now um, I just know there's another level I can get to,
Mm,
but I can't seem to motivate myself to do it. I'm like, I'm not completely cynical. I'm not like just eating constantly and saying screw my health, but I'm
right.
also not. But I'm also got some, some soft spots for happy hour and eating what I want to eat in the evenings. I do breakfast and lunch pretty good. I don't lift, and I think being strong might be a good idea, especially if I want
Mhm.
to have like fill my shirt sleeves. But you know, I just I'm unwilling to do hustle culture about it. I'm unwilling to lean on a Lamborghini about it. All the gurus on YouTube that are,
Right.
shirts off and being all, alpha about it. I'm like, that's dumb. I don't want to do that. I'm not doing this like alpha man. I want to do this in a way that feels good to me, aligned action. Like
Yeah.
that's how we got here because we were talking to, for those of you listening, we're creating a course called the Mindful Agent. And part of that is looking at like having the importance of having a purpose bigger than yourself that pulls you forward, inspires you. And most real estate, any sort of business stuff is goals are typically set around those short term things like me getting a six pack or me filling my shirt sleeves or in real estate, me selling more houses. It's not an inspiring future. And so Aaron and I got in a conversation this weekend about I can see that for my business. I have a purpose that pulls me forward in my business. I don't have an inspiring future that pulls me forward about my health.
Right.
And all the right answers, the quote unquote right answers, like, oh, I want longevity. I want to be able to play with my grandkids. I don't, those aren't doing it for me. I'm not saying they're wrong, but I'm not inspired by them.
Right. Good. So I mean, so the question is, you have a long standing commitment that you have not fulfilled on. Okay, ours happens to be health body related, not real.
Yeah.
I don't even really consider it health related, frankly. I mean, I think that's even I'm just vain, and I just don't think it's my health
Yeah.
is, but maybe it's health, fine, but whatever. You have a commitment
Whatever.
in, but you
Don't.
haven't fat, and it's been a while. It's been a
That's
long
it.
enough time. You're like, okay, and you're a smart cookie. We're smart cookies. We are, the
The
smart rat,
smartest.
smartest. We're way fucking smarter than you. Way, and I'm smarter than Chris. So this is,
uh,
and Chris is a pretty fucking smart guy, but
that's hilarious.
okay, good. So smart
Yeah.
cookies know how the game is played, still haven't worked this out. It's a racket. It's,
Yeah.
it's just dumb, right? So,
Yeah.
and I go from truly not giving a fuck to pretending I don't give a fuck to pretending I'm going to actually doing something about it for a short length of time
Yeah.
to preparing to do something. But, nothing ever really changes about it.
Yeah. Rinse, repeat. Yeah.
Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to, talk about what do you do when you're stuck in that? Because Chris and I have it figured out. We haven't done anything about it yet, but we definitely have it figured out. Okay.
We got a line on something here. We got something that might just crack the code.
Yeah. So we don't have anything figured out about this. We don't know what we're going to do about this, but we do know that so the things about it that I think I know, Chris. And so let's just look at it from this perspective.
Yeah.
And this, I think, so let me just get this part out because I think this was like the confession part, right? Like,
Yeah.
um, I bristle at possibility
Yeah.
because I've tried that with this and it
Yeah.
hasn't worked. So, Chris is one of Chris's, it's not really a complaint as much as it is just it's a committed complaint. It's a committed complaint that I shoot down his ideas. I'm a no possibility kind of guy when it comes to certain things. I don't want to get too theoretical. Chris's game is to have the world be a million leaders or whatever, and it's all like or whatever. It's fine because it all lives for me like losing 25 pounds. Like yeah, but
Or what-
I'm not getting there if I can't get 25 pounds gone. I mean, what the fuck? And you don't have the wherewithal to get your 20 pounds gone.
Yeah.
So why are we fucking pretending we're building a fucking container for a million people? It just doesn't make any sense to me. And that's the bristle part. That's the that's the resignation, no possibility part that you have to deal with about me when we work together about anything because and this is sort of the low grade condition in the background that justifies my cynicism about it
hmm
and
Yeah.
resignation
That's great.
about
Thank you for that confession. That's
it. Yeah,
great.
there you
Yeah.
go.
No, I totally. Yeah. No. Okay. Good.
I'm
It's
telling
not just me.
everybody.
Like, this about you. I love your self-awareness. I love that you know that this is there for you.
Well, here's okay. Let's just we're gonna collywomp. We're gonna sidestep this. I, do you not know that about yourself? Like the things like that. I don't know. It's not this. It may not be the same thing for you, but and you may not talk about it. But I don't think people actually fool themselves. Do you? I
No,
mean, you
I
just
think.
comment on my self-awareness, but it's not really so much my self-awareness, it's the willingness to say it out loud. And that's one thing. There's a willingness to have to say it out loud. But do you think that people are
Maybe.
real? I guess people really are, or we wouldn't be in the political situation we're in. People really are sort of what is that? Just like
Well, I mean, I
unself-aware?
think you've spent a lifetime, you spend a big portion of your lifetime looking at your stories, your rackets, you have an awareness that a lot of people don't because most people, I think for a lot of people who don't do mindful work or don't, whatever, um, might have a glimpse at something that is resignation or poo-pooing things and then get scared about it and shut it down. They're like, I can't look at that. I don't want to look at that. But I think you look at it and just kind of laugh about it. You're like, oh, yeah, no, that's totally me. But because you don't make it mean anything about yourself, I think other people look at it and be like, oh, God, I can't have that story.
Well, I'm sure I have stories like that too. But yeah, okay, good. All right, so let's come back. Enough about me. What do you think about me? Um, but okay, so that's there in the background. Like, okay, I don't I it's funny. I get myself off the hook about taking on big games because I don't, and maybe that's one of the reasons this thing sticks around
Yeah.
is that it's a good, you know, it's a good enough reason not to take something, not to take something on that I don't want to do. And so I can justify not doing it because, well, what the fuck? This hasn't worked. Um, never made a difference with this. And it's not that it hasn't made a difference with this. It's the truth is it hasn't, it's not that I haven't, I've 2 years
Yeah.
ago I lost that weight. I just put it back on. I didn't enjoy the lifestyle that it took to
Yeah.
maintain it. And that's something else I just think is in the background of this particular
Yeah.
scenario is I deeply resent, and this is really so dumb because this is like very much resistance. This is very much not accepting. I
Yeah.
resent, which is a expression of non-acceptance. Um, I resent, and I pretend that I don't,
Hmm.
but I resent that it takes more and more work the older I get
Yeah.
for less and less results.
Mm.
And
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
it's really
It's great.
fucking, that's
That's great. I listen,
unfair.
I hear I and you share your share, I hear my own resentment. I also am resentment, maybe for different reasons, but I resent that I worked out for 7 years and didn't get a result. I resent that I can't enjoy. I love food, man. I'm a foodie. I love cocktails. I love food. And I'm like, don't tell me what to do. Like, I resent that the whoever says this is how I'm supposed to eat to get the result I want. I resent that. Like, don't tell me. I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want to do. And then I go home and wish I had abs and filled my shirt sleeves.
Right.
So
Yeah, and
yeah.
wish I did, and it comes down to wishing I didn't wish that.
And I think for a while, when you're new to the game, I'm trying to think of a real estate agent or a new business person. For a while, when you're new in the game, there's this excitement about, I'm going to go work out for some amount of time and get a result until you don't. And so this resentment to me feels like a common thread for people who have been in the game for a while, didn't get what they wanted, and then look at the amount of work they have to do that they think they have to do, or the work they have to do to get the result. This is not you don't have this kind of resentment and give it in resignation early in the game. It's something that comes later, I think.
Yeah,
And so I mean, my sense of this is why we talked about this on the weekend, but what I've been working through is the context because context is decisive.
I've heard that.
Yeah. Like the context in which I hold health and fitness is going to impact how I show up to it. And I did crack that code I have a context in business of 1 million members, having, in conscious communities. That works for me. I have a context that pulls me forward. So you can poo poo it and roll your eyes because you're
Hmm.
resigned about it. And I'm okay with that. I've sort of, but because you and I are partnered in stuff, I need you somewhat up to speed with like
Hmm.
being okay with, like
Right.
stop peeing in my Wheaties, but
Oh, we
keep
haven't
your
used that in a while. That's
keep
good.
your judgment to yourself. Like you can have it, but don't don't pee in my Wheaties. But I don't have, and so with a bigger context for my business and my life's work, I do all kinds of shit for, I'll say, for free. I'm doing my work day in and day out. You don't have to tell me to think about the next course I'm going to teach or the next book I'm going to write, or I'm actively showing up every day to the reps, the practices, the thoughts about building out my body of work for my business and my life's work.
Right.
But I don't have that context for my health. It's like
Right.
pulling teeth to get me to convince me to lift a weight. I don't have a context that pulls me forward. This is why, to me, purpose is such an important conversation. And I'm really now looking at what did I decode for myself in purpose about my work that I
Right.
haven't decoded for myself in my health. I'm trying to find the framework. What's the thing? Yeah, good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yes, I'm with you. I do think this is the fundamental thing. And I think you and I both know this
Because we're
as
smart.
uh, the answer is, this is purpose. This is, do you have a future
Yeah,
that's big enough
yeah,
that you're emotionally connected to,
right,
that matters to you, or you don't?
right.
I mean, it really comes down to that. And, if you don't, well, you know what? You fucking don't. And you could invent one or you could not have one.
Yeah,
But it's not something that's going to, uh, I don't, you're not going to wake up in the morning just fucking motivate. It's funny. Okay. So I say that. All right. So now look, so I say that, but you're saying I wish I get myself to lift a weight. I don't even have to wish that anymore. I actually now have sorted out and I have done it often enough that I like going to the gym. I mean, here's the thing, if I stop going, it's hard to get back.
mm,
And I know the times in my life where I have eaten, see, it's just seems inauthentic for me to say to do it for health
right,
because I don't. I mean, I know that sugar is bad for you, and
right.
intellectually, I know that that's the way that is. So eating for health makes sense,
Yeah,
but it does not occur to me like that's eating for
right,
health. It occurs to me like that's eating for lean,
right,
for vanity.
right.
And vanity has in it for me a negative connotation. It's not okay to be vain.
And yet,
And yet I
you,
am totally vain. I mean, I'm embarrassed when I take off my shirt in public and I have, and so that's the trap that I'm in
yeah,
about that. Um,
right,
I shouldn't be so beholden to societal, imposed
yeah,
standards. Don't tell me what to do. I'm above that. I don't have any of that, really good. But that's the whole fucking ball of wax, that it's not the whole ball of wax. And I know that it'd be more attractive for Kale. And that's not a small part of what I'm interested in is,
sure.
it's funny. I've often thought of it this way, actually, Chris. I don't really
Mm,
know where any of this is going, but I've often thought of it this way that, I hear about people, cheating, like,
yeah,
stepping out on their partner.
uh-huh.
And that always occurs to, and that's a sort of a really familiar trope in rom-com,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It happens all the time, right?
Every other rom-com, yeah.
Every rom-com has some version of that. And that always occurs to me like time travel or, teleportation or some other science fiction. Like I cannot get the fucking world of someone who does that.
Mm,
I don't even know where you would. That seems to me like the ultimate gaslighting yourself. Like, what the
mm,
fuck are you even doing? Like, how do you gaslight yourself like that? So, fairly judgmental about it, but nonetheless, even just can't get in the world of it. Like, I can't get in the world of it. But I don't know why I can't get in the world of it because, will sneak a Hostess fruit pie while I'm at the store shopping, and not tell Kale
sneak it.
about it. Yeah, I mean, I like make sure I throw it
Throw the
out.
wrapper away before
Yeah,
you
throw
get
the
home.
wrapper away.
Yeah,
Exactly right.
I
Exactly
know
right.
this move. I know this move.
Yeah, like, but that's cheating. I mean, it's on one hand, that's
That's
it's not
awesome.
so much breaking an agreement, but it's taking an action that would be embarrassed to find out, or embarrassed for her to find out I do. Um, so I get, I mean, on one hand, it's just that it's a matter of scale.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
where you draw the line. So, but I
Or
have
context, because the context you have about your marriage is different than the right? Like the context you have for marriage is like a no-brainer. Of course, we're going to be monogamous and not cheat. Of course, I'm going to show up to my business and build this body of work. Of course, but then in health, it's not transferable.
right.
Well, what needs this is why context, I mean, I just think it's important to have a context that feels authentic. This is why I roll my eyes when people give me a context that sounds like the right answer. Like oh, my big why is my family. My
Right.
big why for working out is so I can play with my grandkids. Not that that's okay, maybe that's true, but I'm like, I know how hard it is for me to find that context for myself. And I just sort of second guess when other people tell me theirs as if that's the answer. Like, I don't know. Maybe.
Right.
And by the way, if the litmus test is if you're doing the work, if you say that, that's your why, and your context is pulling you into the actions, the aligned actions, then great. I can see the truth of that. But I just think a lot of people say the right words, but then don't have the aligned actions to go along with it, like me in my health.
Right. Well, and I think that's the thing is that there really is this n- the lack of, so where I was getting with this was the creating and then the keeping alive of that future. And that's the
Mm-hmm.
other thing. I mean, I can create it, but am I keeping it alive? Am I
Yeah,
doing what it takes so that it is actually a living, breathing possibility for me? Like it lives in reality as something that matters to me on a
yeah,
daily basis, because the times where I have had that, space, that
yeah,
future
yeah,
have been great. When I've eaten for health, I've loved it.
yeah.
I've loved it. It's been great. Um,
Right.
I just haven't done it in a while, and I can't, and getting back to the gym, getting started again. It's always why it's always a little bit funky for me to think about cheat days
Mm-hmm.
working out because if I eat shitty one day, it's like
It's
for
a gateway, man.
the gateway.
It's
I
a
don't know how
gateway.
people work that out. Getting back on the horse is a thing, but it's come down to you know, look forward to going to the gym. I look forward to, I don't necessarily get forward to getting up at 5, but
Yeah,
I do look forward to feeling the way I feel after.
yeah,
And I think that's part of it, Chris. I think that's probably the biggest piece of it is, and I know mindfulness plays a role here.
yeah.
If
Right.
I could, I know that I want the cookie, you know,
Yeah, right.
90 seconds of waiting and just
Yeah,
breathing without giving it any attention, and that craving disappears.
right.
But to, but that's always the thing that people that don't meditate have to fucking bump up against is I can't break the scroll long enough to sit.
Yeah,
I
right.
can't interrupt my day long enough to once I sit, I'm fine. There's a meme about getting in and out of the shower.
Mm.
The things I love to do and the things I hate to do. I hate getting in the shower and I hate getting out of the shower, but I love being in the shower.
Uh-huh.
Right? Like
Funny.
I don't
Yeah.
want to get in and I don't want to get out once I'm in. I don't think this is a unique phenomenon. In other words, I don't
Yeah.
think it's anything to do with diet or exercise. I think it's just
Yeah.
it is a place where I have the weakest muscle
Mm. Mm.
in demonstrating it, and I have the most history of really useful excuses for not doing it.
Yeah, I think there's one of the things I'm excited about with we've been developed for those of you listening, we've been developing sort of like a model, a framework, how to not just for health and fitness, but like um for purpose and for, you know, fulfilling on things you say are important to you. And if you can see my screen, like my in my background, I've got like a little pyramid that goes up and down, so it looks like a diamond kind of a thing. And at the top of
Double
that,
pyramid,
what's that? Double pyramid.
double pyramid.
Yeah. Could turn it into like an eye and put it on like some currency or something. Maybe make, you know, like anyway. So secret society. The at the top of this framework, you could think of like true north being your purpose. Like, it looks like a compass. This logo looks like a compass, and it sort of points to true north. What is that context for you? What's that purpose for you? And that's one way. That is the way in my own business that I have found something that pulls me forward. I can see it. I teach this to people, and I can see when they don't get it. They're like, I can't access what that purpose is that I feel is true for me, and not just the right answer. So that's what one way to approach this is to look into the future and be like, can I see a context of something that really matters out in the future? That's one way. But the other way, and this is the way, Aaron, that I've started to sort of resolve myself in as an inroad to finding some empowering future and context, is mindful practices. At the bottom of this pyramid here, this double pyramid, at the bottom is sort of the foundation, the roots, the all of this is grounded in mindful practices.
Hmm.
And I've started to sort of, I'll say, like, when you condition a baseball glove, or you're sort
Yeah.
of working in things to condition something. I'm conditioning my heart, my mind, uh, around um, just even thoughts about gratitude. I'm so grateful that I like clean food. I do like clean food. I do feel good when I work out. I'm really grateful for when I sleep good. I sleep good when I don't drink alcohol. Like, I'm just sitting with the gratitude about those things as real things for me.
Hmm.
Those are not the right answers. Those are true for me. And I'm spending more time in meditation around that. And it's taking the resistance and the frustration out of the equation, and it's just leaving me in the presence of how grateful I am for um, these like these things that I do around my health. It hasn't translated yet into a purpose. I think those are some extra variables to that, which I'm working on for myself. But it does it softens the resignation. It softens the don't tell me what to do, you know. And I'm focusing that meditation specifically to health. I like the way abs look and big arms filling a shirt. So I like that. I'm okay with that, and I'm not judging that. I like that. That's my truth. I like that, and so I sit
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah. I mean, um, it's the sitting with the complaint. It's the pretending I don't have a complaint about it.
Mm,
Um,
hmm.
versus just the acknowledgement that it's not something I'm willing to do anything about.
Mm.
You know,
Right,
like
right, right,
I
right.
I would like that, except I'm not willing to do anything about it. And for the most part, I'm pretty good at giving that up, like not engaging in it, not having it be a real,
Yeah,
most things in life that I'm unwilling to do anything about that I want, despite being unwilling to do anything about it. I just tell the truth about it. Like, okay, well, I'm just not going to do anything about that. And I don't generally, it doesn't generally come back. It doesn't usually, it's not
what
that I
doesn't come
stop
back?
wanting it. It's that um, yeah, I mean, the want no longer, it shows up like, I want my hair back. I do want my hair back. It's not some big complaint, and I'm unwilling to go get hair transplants
That's
to
great.
do anything about it. But I would like my hair back. I mean, really, in the domain of wants,
That's so funny.
I definitely, if I could wake up tomorrow and choose to have my hair back, I would.
That's so funny. Okay, but that's the part where I guess, like, some things I could see, some topics in my life, maybe I'm there. I'm like, yeah, that occurs, like something I want, but I'm not going to do the work about. But there's something I haven't shaken that about my health and the vanity of my health.
100%. I'm
Like,
with you 100%. That's right. I have not shaken it. It's about that.
and I might pretend to, like, yeah, I don't care, but whatever. But then that thought in the background is still like, dude, I want to be fit. I like that, and uh, I haven't fully figured this out yet, but I have a line on a couple things that have worked for me in the business side of things around purpose that I'm playing with around my health. And I think for me, part of purpose, by the way, there's lots of research on this, in terms of intrinsic motivations, right? Pro-social cause. These are fancy words, but I know typically if a purpose is just about me getting what I want, it's
Yeah.
not enough to inspire me or hold me to account. When I can find a purpose that benefits others and puts me in a leadership position about that. I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying like when I'm accountable to lead something, I tend to play a better game. If I'm going to talk about it to you, I don't want, and this is vanity too, because I don't want you to call me out and be like, dude, you're a total hypocrite. So I tend to show up better with aligned actions to things when I'm leading something attached to the goal or intention for
Right.
the benefit of others. And I'm like, well, I don't want to become a personal trainer, but you went out and got certified as a mindfulness coach, and I mean, maybe there is something in my future about leading something about health and finding why that matters to me in the world. It's not hard to find if I looked at the madness of others like me, other people in business who have important work that want to bring change to the world, who want to be the change they want to see in the world. One of the challenges that gets in our way is um, there is a confidence piece missing that I think having a fit looking body would affect. You'd be like, I fucking worked for this body, dude. I and I'm not saying this is right, but when you're fit, it earns attention. People are like, "Fuck, you look good, man." And I wish I looked that good. That's how it goes. Like, you look good. I wish I looked, whether they say it out loud or not. But these are all things that impact how we show up in the world and lead the change.
Yeah.
And I think this is so. You listening to this can translate this for yourself. If yours isn't health, fine, make it whatever it is for you. Make it about money. Make it. What are the big ones? Health, wealth, and relationships. Like I think we're just having this conversation, Aaron, as a sandbox for you to look in. We're being transparent with you listening to this. So we can all walk each other home and, getting honest about how do we create an empowering future and use mindful practices to condition ourselves
Right.
into the things we say we want.
Yeah, it's good, Chris. That's really is the heart of it is, and I do appreciate the thing about it being for others is a bigger container. And then the other piece that, the things, the practices, the aspects of it that we know work are public promises versus promises to ourselves. You know,
Mm, right.
I'll keep my word to you before I'll keep my word
Yeah.
to myself. And
Right.
and then the other thing I hadn't thought of until just now is I haven't applied any I haven't applied any strategic or certainly not rigorous mindfulness practices around it,
Mm,
like slowing down.
mhm,
And I haven't done anything in regards to celebrating it, like the
mm,
learning how to walk ness
interesting. Right.
of it, like celebrating every step as
Mm,
a success and brought that level of intention to it. Like, oh,
mm,
yeah, that's actually not a bad, that would not be a terrible thing, is to be kind to myself about
mm.
that whole thing
Right.
and have it be easeful
Yeah. Right.
versus, like the
Yeah.
discipline we're talking about in the work that I've been teaching is the
Mm,
willingness to come back over and over and over and over again with an open
yeah.
heart and a willingness to learn.
Right.
It's been, you know, I always imagine Tom Landry, like a like Bill Purcell's, like a hard ass coach or
Right.
nothing.
Mm,
Like there's a real unwillingness to be soft and easeful about it. It's got to be, and that's the other thing I noticed that I inherently resist sort of the muscle shirted, tight shirted sales trainer guy
uh-huh.
person, 4 a.m. ice
Interesting.
bath. You know,
Interesting.
like I resist
Does
that.
not earn your attention. It
It
repels
does.
your attention.
It repels. It gets my attention. It repels my respect.
That's
Um,
interesting.
and there's no reason to, because I mean that guy did something I'm not doing, so I'm sure he's not losing any sleep over my not getting it.
That's funny.
Um, but there's that space. There's a
Yeah.
underlying tension or underlying communication of contempt, I would say.
Mm,
My
yeah.
favorite, like, but it's a little bit of sour grapes.
Yeah. Well, I think until there's, you can't force a purpose that's bigger than you and inspiring in your future. You can't force that. That's for, especially if you want it to be authentic, you can't force it. So that's why I've so appreciated the mindfulness stuff that I've picked up from our time together, you and me walking this out for 4 years, because there is, until that inspiring future in for about my health it shows up and I sort of decode that. To your point, I have mindful practices I can be easeful about and encourage the walking uh,
Yeah.
out of, because I do breakfast and lunch really well, and I do a pretty good job of not snacking. And I've done a lot of real I do a lot of really good things. I walk every day. I mean,
Mhm.
I know how to do where I know a meal plan that works for me. I know how to work out. Like there's all this stuff that I tend to not see or appreciate, but that I have just through practice is normal for me. It's normal. I talked to a guy the other day who was like, I said, "Do you work out?" And he's like, "No, I don't even know." He's my age. You're my age, not your age. He's my age. And
Easy,
he's
buddy.
like,
Easy.
"No, I've never been to the gym and I feel like a fool." He's like, "I wouldn't know what to do if I picked up a weight." And I'm like, "Huh, that's so interesting." Like, I do. I'm totally comfortable with weights. I have good form. I know like all that stuff, and
Mhm.
I don't even like acknowledge that. I just look at just pissed that I don't have what I want, and then I don't want to do the work. And anyway,
Yeah.
my point is the mindful practices have been really helpful as I wait for, or not waiting, as I actively look into how do I create a context in my future that inspires
Yeah.
my action. All right. Well,
All right, good. All right. Well, this is, I think this is a useful Cuddy for us just because I Kayla is out of town and I did tell her I would take on this metabolic reset. So that's already out of the equation, but I would like to continue to work on for myself, creating that as a future that
yeah,
inspires me versus a obligation or threat that I would, that I'm
yeah,
suffering under.
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You
Yeah.
listen, those of you listening, I mean, you know, be interesting for you guys to reach out to us and tell us what you heard in this. I sometimes like going sideways from the main conversation of business and mindfulness and talking
Mhm.
about health, for an example. Like I think there's some interesting truths that come out there, but we'd love to hear from you. You can go to our mindfulceo.com site. There's a contact link in the navigation menu, and
Mhm.
just send us a message like what are you hearing, what are you getting? We'd love to connect with you that way. Any final words, Aaron?
No, that's it. That's great. Let's
All
connect.
right. All right. See you, everybody.
All right,
See you
dude.
next time. Bye.